to Asim Munir, a strange man who takes pride in calling his country a gravel truck, a dumpster truck. What's even stranger is that now a Pakistani minister is repeating the exact same analogy. This is Pakistan's national pride, its national identity for you viewers. They know they are down in the dumps and they envy India, which gained independence at the same time, has gone on the path of development when Pakistan chose the path of fascism. It chose the path of religious fanaticism, and now it is choosing the path of radical Islam under Asim Munir. His fantasy that he will blow up India's prospects is both condemnable and laughable. Where was this bravado when India downed 5 Pakistani jets, launched missiles from the longest distance of 300 kilometers, and when it hit all its main headquarters? And when India says that Operation Sindoor is not over, it is still going on. Where is all this bravado? Why has it just suddenly appeared? Why is it that Pakistan takes pride in being called a dumpster truck? I want to first play out exactly what the Pakistani Interior Minister said, the crude analogy, and how it defines and pretty much explains Pakistan of today. Listen in.
तो फील्ड मार्शल साहब ने ये अभी ब्रसल में खुद भी एक किस्सा रिपीट किया है। उन्होंने उस सऊदी डेलीगेशन को कहा कि जिस तरह बात कर रहे हैं ये इंडिया जो है एक शाइनिंग मर्सिडीज़ की तरह है, लेकिन हम एक डंपर ट्रक की तरह है जो भरा हुआ है पत्थरों से और बाकी चीज़ों से। अब आप इमेजिन कर लें कि जब इसकी टक्कर होगी तो उस मर्सिडीज़ का क्या हाल होगा।
Let's tell our viewers what exactly is that shiny Mercedes and where does that dumpster truck really stand. Let's put out some of those facts that need to be told as it is. First and foremost, this is the fact that pretty much explains everything you need to know, viewers, about India and Pakistan. India's IT sector stands at $435 billion above Pakistan's entire GDP. Our single sector overshadows the entire dumpster truck for you. Let's move ahead, tell you some of the other important figures. India actually alleviated over 1.2 crore people out of poverty. 90 lakh people plunged into poverty in Pakistan. There's a reason why Asim Munir says it's a dumpster truck. It's every bit just that. Let's tell you the other important figure. India is now the highest, fastest growing economy in the world. Compare that to Pakistan, whose GDP, whose growth is actually falling. This is what Asim Munir is actually sitting over. Next, forex reserves. $9 billion, enough probably about 2 weeks' time that they can get their imports, maybe less than that. This is $660 billion of forex reserves that India has. And last and most importantly, inflation, a very important measure because this will tell you whether average Pakistani can actually buy 2 meals a day or not. At 23%, he cannot. And this is what it is for India at sub 5%. This tells you exactly what the situation is and why there is so much of envy as far as Asim Munir is concerned. Let's get you the big questions that we are putting out right now on the broadcast. First and foremost, failed state Pakistan is accepting its fate. This is what it is. This is what it has been reduced to. This is admission of what a failure that Pakistan has become. Next up, pride in being down in the dumps. Who actually takes pride? Even a dumpster truck driver doesn't say, I'm a dumpster truck driver. This is Pakistani Field Marshal saying just that. And last and most importantly, what false glory is Munir actually narrating after Operation Sindoor? The world has known about it. We have put out proof. Our forces have said that after Balakot, they realized they need to give proof. They've given those proof. So what exactly is it that Asim Munir is really talking about? Let's get in our big guests joining us this evening, General Raj Shukla, Sushant Sareen, and Raymond Vickery. Good evening, gentlemen. Thank you so much for speaking to me. General Shukla, let me start with you. Asim Munir is a strange man. We've spoken about it. He takes glory in the fact that he wants to be and his country to be a dumpster truck. We've spoken about the comparisons. Go ahead, sir. How do you decode this man and what he's talking about and identifying his country as?
You know, Gaurie, there are some pretty sharp minds in the Pakistan military too. And they must be wholly embarrassed by the limitations of Field Marshal Munir's schooling and education, if this is the best piece of literature he can come up with, I mean, dump truck. If I were in the Pak Army, I would grovel at what my boss is saying. It's as silly as that. But let me make a few serious points too, and that is this. This dump truck Mercedes analogy may be accurate in Asim Munir's view, but it does not recognize how the mechanics of engagement has undergone a complete transformation. As Operation Sindhu showed us, अगर हमको वो dump truck निकालना है तो टकराने की जरूरत नहीं. Now we have got standoff capacities. 200, 300, 200, 300 kilometers, we will take it off. And if we beef our offensive ISR, which I'm sure we are doing, 4 months down the line, we'll take out the driver of that dump truck. Asim Munir Saab himself may go. That is offensive poise in ISR. And if what the Prime Minister signaled yesterday, Sudarshan Chakra, which means now we are sensing larger dangers, building an AD topology, offensive poise, if we do all that, then Pakistan is in for some very testing times. The last point I'd like to make is, you see, in the larger sense, Pakistan is merely a pest in our strategic calculus. We have better things to do. We have got, larger competitions to take care of, our economy, technology, futures. We are building our economy, and some of that economic heft will be translated into strategic military poise. तो ये जो बिलावल, शहबाज, मुनीर और अभी क्या नाम है इनका,
right,
Moshi Naqvi, this kind of cacophony is useless, because if the aim is to do some deterrent signaling, certainly there is no deterrent signaling out of it at all.
No,
so they should seriously worry about the dump truck, their own plight, look at better phrases to signal asymmetry and deterrence, if that is what they wish to do. ये dump truck वगैरह तो बहुत ही low IQ है. That's all I can say with the utmost humility at my core.
Let's get it, Raymond Vikri, and then we give then Sushant Serene. Raymond Vikri, this was said on American soil. One can keep debating as to why is it that Donald Trump and his administration choose to bet over a pony rather than a racehorse. We put out those statistics and the difference between India and Pakistan very clearly. But the fact that it was actually said on American soil and those threats were not veiled, those crude analogies, if one really deciphers, does indicate what is the kind of thought process that's going on as far as Pakistanis are concerned. How is it that America is allowing any of this and in fact emboldening this thought?
Well, thanks very much for having me. It seems to me that these remarks show the ill wisdom of the President Trump's rehyphenating or recoupling India and Pakistan and viewing the relationship as one which does not consider each country on its own merits. That we have worked against in the United States under Republican and Democratic administrations alike to decouple, to see that India is a vibrant democracy and to stand shoulder to shoulder with India in the fight against international terrorism, whether it be from Pakistan or any other place. So that having been said, it is extremely important to keep in mind that it is in the best interest of all to try to wage peace as well as you wage war. As for allowing someone to say something in the United States, hopefully we're going to be able to maintain our tradition of allowing free speech, which has been under attack by the Trump administration at this time. But it's a very unfortunate analogy for the Pakistanis.
This is not about unfortunate. This is not about freedom of speech. The Pakistani general actually said that if India creates a dam on Indus using on an Indus river, we are going to then launch missiles. Forget the fact that he doesn't understand that Pakistan is the downstream country and it will be inundated. But these are threats that actually he made on American soil. So this has nothing to do with freedom of speech. Let's not come out and normalize these kind of threats. Let's get in Sushant Sareen on this. I think the only dumpster truck here is actually the poor people of Pakistan. The army is as rich as it gets. 10% or more of the Pakistani army is under the control of the generals there. Talk to us, Sushant, about the mindset here with which this analogy is now being said again and again, first by Asim Munir and now by the Pakistani Interior Minister.
Well, the Interior Minister is nothing but a lackey of Asim Munir.
Yes.
Otherwise, he's a non-entity. He's a political lightweight. He doesn't count for anything. It's only because he's very closely related to Asim Munir, so he blabs his mouth off. Otherwise, he's not worth anything to anybody. Secondly, I think I welcome what Asim Munir said. Because look, at one level, it's an admission of reality. And he accepts that his country is a dumpster truck. Now, if he had the brains and the vision, he could have said, well, we are a Volvo truck or a Mack truck or something nice and sexy. But he compares his country to a dumpster truck. Who am I to oppose him on saying that? And he says India is a shiny Mercedes. I welcome that comparison. Secondly, of course, it shows the mindset. It shows the mindset of the Pakistani, especially the Punjabi Muslim in Pakistan, because their entire worldview is that I must bring the wall of my neighbor or my enemy down, even if I was to come under. And very often you will hear the Pakistanis say that, listen, we are broke, we are finished, we are a third-rate country, we have nothing to offer to anybody in the world. But we can have the power to destroy other countries, we have the power to destroy India. And like Asim Munir said, and I don't see how this is freedom of speech, unless, of course, threatening nuclear holocaust is freedom of speech, in which case I don't know the definition anymore. But this is the mindset of the Pakistani people. And this is not the mindset only of a general who's a jihadist, by his training and by all the stuff which he has imbibed.
Yes.
This is the mindset of people across the board. So, you have to understand what are the kind of people you are dealing with. One last point, Gaurie. When General Shukla says that we have this standoff capability and next time we might be taking out Munir himself, which is exactly what Munir wants. He wants to become a martyr. It's another matter that when Indian missiles were landing on Pakistani soil, he was hiding in a bunker. At that point of time, he lost the jihad and, wanting to sacrifice himself and embrace martyrdom. He forgot all of that. That time he was, slinking into a hole like a rat. But now, of course, because there is no danger to his life, so he is, again, a very Punjabi Muslim thing to do.
Fake bravado.
Podium and, fake bravado, which comes very naturally to these guys.
Indeed.
Nothing surprising in that.
All right. I will have to leave it there, gentlemen. Thanks so much for joining me on this edition of India Matters. Well, viewers, it's not just a gravel truck. It's also a grovel truck. That's what Pakistan is. Go to China, ask for more loans. Then go to America, ask for more aid in the guide of saying that you are going to fight against terror. Then go to World Bank, then go to IMF, ask for more bailouts, more loans. All this groveling only to stay solvent. What does it speak about the man who needs a Nobel recommendation letter from the leader of a country who calls his nation dumpster truck? And what's the worth of that recommendation letter? I'll leave you with that thought, viewers, as we wrap this edition of India Matters. Thanks so much for watching.